champ. Looks like Chris Rock wasn't the only one getting slapped around last night, huh? I'm depressed. Listen, all jokes aside, when I saw the score, I didn't get a chance to watch the game live, but when I saw the score, I was under the impression that Kyrie Irving just played horrible, right? When I'm looking at the James Harden stands on Twitter, I'm sitting here like, wow, Kyrie must have really laid an egg here. Like I had my preconceived notions of what I thought he was going to do out there, and I took that energy into watching the game this morning. I watched the game. Kyrie played fine. Like, I know in the beginning of the game and like the first 3 quarters, he played absolutely tragic, but you look towards the end of the game in the clutch moments at the end of the 4th quarter when it mattered, when everyone else was gassed and exhausted, and Kyrie was hitting clutch shots. He was getting to the basket. He was, hitting the clutch Kobe fadeaways and stuff like that. So this narrative that Kyrie played terrible, I don't buy that. I think when you are a scorer and you're a superstar scorer, it really doesn't matter what happens in the beginning of the game. Your job is to score when it matters. In fact, if it's the opposite, that's when I personally have a problem with you. If you're doing amazing in the beginning of the game, but you suck in clutch time, that's when I have an issue. But that wasn't the case at all. I thought Kyrie showed up when he needed to, especially because it was such a closely contested game. Wouldn't you rather him play well when it matters and not when it's looking like it could be a blowout? Like, I don't quite understand that, but that's not even there. Sever the bond. Nets Republic. They lost. This was a very important game. We were supposed to beat them so that we could have the tiebreaker or whatever, so we could solidly stay in 8th place and hopefully ascend further. That was not the case. We lost at home to the Hornets. LaMelo had like 30 or something like that. Kyrie's home debut, still lost. This is coming off of a back-to-back, so you can throw the excuses out there of they're just tired. And for the rest of the team, I personally don't buy that, but for the 2 stars, I can see how that's the case. And I'm not quite sure why playing Kevin Durant the entire second half on a back-to-back when you know we got to get ready for the playoffs is a smart decision. Now, you could sit there and stare at me and say, well, Sever, what was Steve Nash supposed to do? No one was hitting their shot. Yeah, you can put Blake Griffin in. LaMarcus Aldridge was available to go in. Was Cam Thomas too comfy on the bench? Is it Day'Ron Sharp averaging like 30 rebounds or something like that in the D-League or the G-League or whatever we're calling it? This man had options, but just willingly chose to ISO KD the rest of the night. And that man was beyond exhausted. Like, and this goes off of the video that we posted yesterday, to where I asked several times, and I've been asking this for the last month. Well, I'm done asking, and I'm ready to tell you my conclusions now, because I've heard what y'all have had to say. I've read your comments. I understand. Time for factual time. Sever the Bond likes to deal in hypotheticals at times, but right now we're talking facts and strictly eye tests. I said last game, if they are able to carry the momentum from the last game and bring it into this one, if we were able to take the energy from the blowout Heat game and bring it over to a home game against the Hornets, then I'm not concerned. That is, again, a carryover from the idea of, are these two, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, just so amazing that strictly just having them on the floor is enough to win games? Can they just tap into God mode? Can they tap into the avatar state? Like, is this part 1 Sasuke or part 2? Can he only do the Chidori like 2 times a day? Or is it like unlimitless in Shippuden? Like, which one are we talking about here? And I asked y'all, and y'all told me KD's nice like that. KD's a god. Kyrie can do this anytime he wants. Kyrie's amazing. Doesn't seem to be the case. And I understand how that can be seen as hating, but I'm trying to frame this in a way. Maybe I say things too matter-of-factly and too blunt. I'm not saying they are not incredible athletes and star players. I don't think Kyrie is on the tier of Kevin Durant, but I am not saying that that's not the case. I'm not even saying I don't think Kevin Durant is not the best player in the league currently. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that they are human beings. And with individuals who are humans, who are going to get tired, who the wear and tear of a season, even though both of them barely played this year, so I don't know what they're tired from, but cool, they're going to have their moments where they're not going to be able to carry every single night. And it is an unfair expectation to put that on them to begin with. Not to mention the roster is constructed for two superstars and a star. Well, I am just really disrespecting Kyrie right now. I'm trying not to make it seem like I am just hating on these individuals, but I am taking a realistic look. If they were what y'all think they are, we win that game last night. Now, again, there were several factors. Steve Nash brain-dead substitution patterns, having Kevin Durant play the entire second half, not just the fourth, the third and the fourth quarter, coming off of a back-to-back. You've got him playing the entire time, and every play is ISO KD unless Kyrie decides to take the shot himself. Like, what was that like last-second inbounds play, right? KD gets the ball on like the... Shut up. On the right side, I gotta look at my hands. Hush. On the right side of the court, he dribbles around a little bit, does a manual cut, because it's not like someone set a screen. He does a manual cut, tries to hit the shot over Bridges, I think. I think that was Miles Bridges. I don't know. I don't know the Hornets like that. But hits the shot over homie who dunks a lot. Misses. And it wasn't like it was an air ball. It's not like it smacked off the side of the backboard. I mean, he just missed. But if everyone in the building knows it's ISO KD and it hasn't been working for 3.5 quarters, why would you draw that up again? Like, why even sub in Seth Curry if Kevin Durant's going to take the shot? Like, I don't even understand that logic. Something else that, again, is no fault to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is the fact that Dragic is out there playing these fourth quarter clutch minutes. Again, because you're friends with the coach, where was Bruce Brown? If no one's hitting their shot and we got to try to break this zone, who better to have out there than Bruce Brown, who's going to be cutting around? He'll get the floater because no one's even looking at him, or he'll be able to set up a pass over to Drummond or Claxton or something like that. Like, why was Dragic out there? It wasn't like he was hitting shots. Like, him and Patty Mills had a cool, like, tag team fast break assault every now and again. But outside of that, they gave him the wide open shot and he missed. So why not have Bruce Brown out there trying something different other than just hoist the ball from half court and hope for the best? Like, even if and it is a dark day. It is a dark day in Kanye West's Satan Palace when I'm agreeing with Richard Jefferson, but there's got to be another game plan than just shoot the ball. Like, we can't be on that Kristaps Porzingis the whole time. Like, there's got to be another course of action here. And we saw in the beginning of the game, if you feed the ball to Drummond, can't nobody stop him down low. Why don't we go back to that some more? Or, I don't know, if he hurt his back or if he's tired from playing the whole game, put Claxton back out there. If you don't think Claxton's strong enough, which we established he was, but he got into a little bit of foul trouble, sure, you can put in a Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin will give you the threes, and he'll go down low. Like, he's been hitting his shots again. Like, this is last year Blake Griffin. This is the Blake Griffin. Why not put him out there? Has he not proved that he's playing well? And we've been waiting all this time, putting Band-Aids on the team for the Marcus Aldridge to come back. The man comes back and you don't even let him sniff the court. When I think the presence of another big man would have really helped. And again, Day'Ron Sharpe is just on the bench collecting dust. And then what about all that trash talk of, oh, Kessler Edwards is playing so well, it's possible that he can be to sit on the bench? Like, where was he? You need someone to hit a shot. You need someone to play some defense. You need someone to get down low and do a little bit of bully ball. Put Kessler Edwards back in. But Steve Nash ain't going to do that. We just going ISO KD, let Kyrie do his thing every now and again if he doesn't feel like passing. And Dragic. Because that's your man's. It's not even like it's a smart basketball team, because that's your man's. And if it's a situation of you don't trust Kyrie to handle the ball and be a point guard in clutch situations, and you want to play it safe with Dragic, like, that says more about Kyrie than anything. That says more about your trust in Kyrie Irving. Like, that's just something we deal with. Yeah, Kyrie's going to take like 20 plus shots when he's not hitting them. That's just what Kyrie does. And personally, I need to see that as a negative because, again, Kai was hitting his shots towards the end of the game anyway. So if you're the coach, you know what Kyrie Irving's capable of. Let that man just run the team and make the decisions. What you got Dragic out there for? And can Bruce Brown not run point all of a sudden? Like, what? But even the external circumstances taken out of the equation, and all these external circumstances are Steve Nash. It's always Steve Nash. I don't even know why we have to constantly do this every video. We should be at the point where I could say in the beginning of the video, fire Steve Nash, and I don't even have to address what happens with that man, but that's not good. For some reason, I'm still having to bring y'all to metaphorical Jesus. Like, this is so silly that we're still doing this with like 5 games left in the season, but that's neither here nor there. So external, Steve Nash, external, Steve Nash, external, Steve Nash, Steve Nash, external, Steve Nash, with the Steve Nash factors aside, and the fact that it was a back-to-back. If these two, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, are that tier of amazingly clutchity-clutch, unstoppable gods, we win the game. I get they're tired. I get Steve Nash has no idea what he's doing. However, if they are that God tier, we win this game regardless. And I feel like I said the same thing in the playoffs last year when Kyrie got hurt and James Harden was on one leg. I said, well, Kevin Durant just did what he did in Game 5. You've got 2 chances to close it. If he is as good as y'all say he is, it's done. And yes, he fell short. Yes, it was close. And people always seem to go back to oh, it was a toenail on the line. Yeah, in the 4th quarter. We never talk about the overtime. Y'all remember that part? Where man couldn't hit a shot to save his life? And the last thing I saw was him airballing a step back 3 over Drew Holiday. That's what I remember. And again, this is not bashing Kevin Durant hour. This is not bashing Kyrie hour. This is having a realistic look. Y'all can't just keep saying, oh, we'll be fine because we get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. No, that's not enough. Now, the victory itself, or the loss, I don't think that in particular is that big a deal. If any of these factors change, Kyrie's not exhausted, Kevin Durant's not tired, Steve Nash is a competent coach, we do something other than, I will sum it up as Steve Nash is a competent coach. We win the game. Right? If we had a couple more games of Kyrie being a full-time participant, being integrated into our offense, some of those really careless turnovers, they're successful passes. And they result in fast break layups or dunks or open shots or post moves or something like that, right? Right? So I don't think the team is doomed. Next year, I think we're going to be really difficult to contend with. assuming the team stays together and we don't lose half the roster because everyone is on a 1-year minimum, assuming we bring back a good majority of the team and kind of like just solve a couple of issues here and there. James Johnson, excuse me. Assuming we just tie up a couple of loose ends here, I think next year we're unbeatable. But right now, we don't have time for these dudes to gel. Because with Kyrie playing home games now, this is like we're starting over officially. Like even last year's James Harden trade, we had several months to try to figure out how this was going to work. We've got a little over 6 games left. Barely. We've got 2 weeks of basketball left before we go to the play-in tournament. Because at this point, it's play-in. I don't care what they do. It's play-in tournament time from here on out. And y'all got to just accept that. Just like how some of y'all other teams need to accept you're not making the playoffs, period. It's play-in tournament time for us. So we need to plan for that. We don't have time for them to mesh. And we've established that just Kyrie and Kevin Durant, maybe a game here and there, but you cannot convince me that that is enough right now. With Kevin being as exhausted as he is, and Steve Nash being an imbecile, and Kyrie Irving, Kai is great, but it's like, we got to find a way to get him in the offense type stuff. You know what I mean? Like against Miami, it's cool, but then you see the next game and it's like, oh, well, the continuity's not there. The chemistry's not there. We just don't have time. We just don't have time. So it's a chemistry thing with Kyrie. Kevin Durant is exhausted. And I just want to sprinkle this in here. Same thing with Patty Mills. There's been a lot of Patty Mills disrespect. Y'all notice I haven't even said a word because let's not act like Patty wasn't carrying us. When Kyrie couldn't play, period, and Joe Harris first got hurt and no one could hit a 3 before Seth Curry, Patty Mills carried us. So let's not do that, but that's not here nor there. That man's just tired. But you can say the same thing for Kevin Durant. Again, what he's tired from, I don't know. I can just tell that he's tired because that man was like hurt for like 2 months. So he should be well rested. So I don't know what he's tired from, but he is tired and I can acknowledge that. And I'm not going to knock him for that because he's Kevin Durant. He's the best player in the world. If he's tired, he's tired. And, you know, playing 40-minute games back to back. I mean, you know, I'd be tired too, in theory, but that's not here nor there. With all those things, like I don't see how that results in extreme postseason success. Now, the play-in tournament, I'm not worried about that. They'll be fine. I think the amount of games we have left, as long as no one gets hurt, Jesus Christ, as long as no one gets hurt, we've got enough time in this 2-week span to get Kyrie enough involved with the team and have everyone else used to him being there enough to where we can win a single elimination game. Now, a series, God bless America in a series, but in a 1 game, just win this game and we're good, and it's looking like it's going to be against the Hawks. Oh, God. Trae Young is going to destroy us. I mean, listen, I am so positive right now. We'll be fine. We will be fine. The talent level is too strong. We will be fine. If it's the Hawks or the Hornets, we will be fine. When the season is on the line, I don't care if Kyrie's shooting 1 for 45. We ain't losing this game. Those two will not let it happen. In a series, though, if it's against the Celtics or like the Heat or something like that, I don't know what we're going to do. I have no confidence we get out the first round. Maybe y'all don't feel that way, but I don't know how you can watch a performance literally back-to-back, Heat, Hornets, and say to yourself, you trust this team in a playoff series. Now, how does that get fixed? Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons comes back. That's a little bit more off. I've been watching some Ben Simmons highlights. I don't know why we act like that man can't score, because he can. That man is like a mini Giannis. Like I don't know why we just assume he can't score, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, We'll have a Ben Simmons conversation on a later date. But with Ben Simmons, you get a little bit more scoring. You have another big body to beat up on these little like guards and stuff like that. Because there's just no way Isaiah Thomas is locking up Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? We got another big body down there to just take advantage of stuff, put him down in the post. You got a little bit more offense, and you've got a whole lot more defense. LaMelo Ball ain't dropping that many points if Ben Simmons is out there. It's just not happening. Speaking of Trae Young, even though they lost the series, let's not act like Trae played incredible that series. Ben was locking that man up. The problem is he might not play. And it's looking like he's not coming back at all. I'm not worried about his chemistry and him fitting into things because he's not like a offensive volume shooter like that. So he'll be fine. I'm not concerned about that. It's just a matter of if he comes back. But it's looking like he won't. And if he doesn't, I don't know what y'all expect from this team. And I don't think it's fair. And again, I'll reference Kevin Durant himself coming out saying, like, I'm not a savior. What's going on here? Like we're putting such unreal expectations on this team. It's just not fair to anyone. Even Steve Nash said, like, yo, I don't know who y'all think this team is, but right? So it's just like, I think it's best to go in this with realistic expectations. I realistically think we're making the playoffs, period. I'm not worried about the play-in. I'm concerned that we're constantly losing games, but I think we'll be fine. It's just a matter of they just need more time together, and they got 2 weeks. As long as no one gets hurt, get them out there. No load management. We just have to just make this work. Now, just because I said no load management doesn't mean Kevin Durant plays the entire second half of games when the playoffs are in 14 days, but that's not here or there. But just in terms of getting them dudes out there, getting them acquainted with each other, getting them adjusted with each other, even if it's a situation of like it's like a blowout and a team starts trying to come back, don't be scared to leave the bench out there. We want everyone to get involved. You don't want Cam Thomas to get out there in a playoff series and it's like he's out of rhythm because he never plays. You know? But that's coaching stuff, and we know. Like I said, there's just a lot of factors going in different directions here. To sum it up, am I concerned that we lost? No. They're fine. They played fine. I thought it was cool. They're just tired, and Steve Nash is an idiot. Cool. Am I worried about the season? Absolutely. I don't think we make it out the first round. Now, if Ben Simmons comes back, totally different story. But it's not looking like that's the case. And with 2 weeks left in the season, I don't even think that's a possibility. So I am looking at this as, let's just hope they have good chemistry and we can build off of that for next year. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us just getting annihilated in the first round by someone. And if you're looking at your screen saying, Sever, you got KD messed up, you got Kyrie messed up. Did I get him messed up last night?